Are you looking to buy property in Florida? Watch out for Swampland. In today's video, we have the top things you should know about this classic real estate scam. Number 1, what does the saying, Swampland in Florida, refer to? Well, you've probably heard it before, but this saying refers to a scam in which a seller misrepresents a parcel of unbuildable land as developable property. Number 2, what is the history of the Swampland in Florida scheme? Well, like many great scams, the Swampland in Florida scheme originated with Charles Ponzi. Yes, Charles is most famous for the infamous Ponzi scheme. But after he was convicted for this first scam, he actually went on to start another. After he jumped bond, he moved to Jacksonville, Florida, where he set up a real estate business that sold unusable Florida swampland to out-of-state investors, claiming that the properties were prime building lots. Number 3. Now, Charles Ponzi aside, are there more recent examples of swampland in Florida schemes? Or put another way, should I worry about such a scheme? Well, in short, the answer is yes. There have been a lot of other similar schemes, both in Florida and in other states. And we'll actually cover a case study later. Number 4, if you do end up buying swampland in Florida, is there any value in it? Well, like all things, it depends. Some of these properties may someday become developable property, as we'll see in our case study later. But even if you bought completely worthless, totally undevelopable land, it may still have some value as recreational property. It all depends on how much you paid for the property and what you're looking to do with it. And number 5, how can you avoid a swampland in Florida type scheme? Well, the biggest thing you should do is view a property before you purchase it. Or if you can't do this, have someone else go see it for you. One tip is you can hire a photographer from Craigslist to run out and take photos of the property. But a few other things you can do. Investigate any fees that come with the property. If there are hidden fees beyond normal closing costs or something like a document fee, then maybe the seller isn't on the up and up. It's also, of course, helpful to use a real estate agent who can tell you a little bit about the history of the surrounding area. In a similar vein, the county planning office can be very helpful. They're usually a wealth of information and can tell you things like, say, are there utilities in the area or even roads? And finally, understand all of the costs associated with the plot you're buying. A lot may be marketed as developable, but will still need all utilities and infrastructure brought out to it, and that's going to have a hefty cost. That doesn't mean you shouldn't buy the property, especially if it's at a good price, but just understand that there's going to be another chunk of money you'll need to expend before you can actually put a home on it. So that covers the basics of the Swampland in Florida real estate scheme. And as I promised earlier, here's a more recent case study. Now, did you know that one of Florida's biggest real estate scams is actually perhaps one of its greatest success stories? So what are Cape Coral's founders? Hucksters or visionaries? Well, it depends on your perspective. Cape Coral is, as one engineer put it, a precarious civilization engineered out of a watery wilderness. But for the Rosso family, who moved from Pittsburgh to Cape Coral in September 1960, the area offered an affordable utopia. This despite the fact that their new home turned out to be uninhabitable swampland, with just a few dozen homes along mosquito-swarmed dirt roads. And to top the experience off, the family arrived just an hour before another fellow traveler, Hurricane Donna. Thus, they spent their first night in the subdivision without a roof. But just like thousands of other Cape Coral pioneers, the lack of streets, infrastructure, stores, or even homes did not deter the Rossos. The Rosso patriarch even became one of the top salesmen for the subdivision's developer, peddling swampy lots to out-of-state buyers with tales of a sunny paradise. Cape Coral was created by Gulf American, the company owned by the Rosin brothers. The brothers originally got rich selling an anti-baldness tonic made from wool grease. They were neither developers or engineers, but when they visited Redfish Point, the peninsula now known as Cape Coral, they understood it was a marketer's dream. A rich man's paradise within reach of everyone. They just needed to drain the swamp, which they did, hacking canals out of the wilderness and creating perfectly square islands, home to thousands of waterfront lots, where there had neither been waterfront nor, strictly speaking, dry land. What the Rosens didn't build was infrastructure, streets, or even homes. But this didn't stop the company from plastering golf courses and other suburban amenities on all of its marketing materials. Their, some might say, fraudulent marketing activities didn't end there. They bugged the hotel rooms of potential customers and sold buyers different lots from the ones advertised. Yet people like the Rosos stayed, despite the dirt, mosquitoes, and storms. And today, though it has almost no commercial tax base, a diminishing aquifer, and water woes that yo-yo between severe shortages and massive flooding, Cape Coral is booming. In fact, it is one of the fastest growing cities in Florida, which is perhaps why the Rosens are remembered as some of the most influential people in Southwest Florida, at least according to one local newspaper. After all, they could be said to have started the South Florida land boom. So hucksters or visionaries, what do you think? Let us know in the comments. Did you like this video? You're going to love our Gokce Land Due Diligence program. We'll make you a land due diligence expert in just 7 days. Check it out at gokcecapital.com/glad. And while you're at our website, don't forget to explore our $1 down listings at gokcecapital.com/listings. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.